Alright, here we go. Spectating a little free-for-all match. We'll get pushed out eventually down there. This had a really annoying, frustrating match. It was team match. Our team had half the board. We're doing well. One of our teammates had the crown. I was pretty big too. I was like 4th on the board or something like that. We were dumping like every like 30 seconds. We're hitting with like 500,000 troops. But the other half of the board, you know, the red and blue teams or black teams, joined up against him. And it's a fight he easily could win. All he had to do is just pick one target and just attack them with like a million troops every 30 seconds or so, while I kept replenishing his troops with mine. But since there was some stupid noob who didn't even realize he was being financed by us, they just like stopped attacking. They just sat back and did nothing, even though I kept dumping money into them. And they eventually just quit. And like then the enemy teams just got all their land for free, and then we lost. And it was so frustrating to just lose, even though we were. We should have won. You put anybody in that player's position who had played the game for more than like an hour, and it would just be a win. And that just seems like most of my matches now, especially team matches, are like we just lose. Would somebody just like force me out already? Force me out already. Would you mind? Thank you. It seems there we go. Because I want those bars off the screen there. It seems like every match now, like almost every match, is just like this annoying sweat fest, and then I end up losing because I have one bad teammate who's just stupid in throws, even though we're in winning position. I'm so tired of throwing away like videos. I'm so tired of throwing away content that could have been videos because of one bad teammate at the end just loses it for us, or one enemy just full sends on us. Like that's what's so frustrating about trying to make wins. Like have to like, oh, you gotta make your content off of wins. It's just like, you know, you can play for, like, back in the day, I was so much better than everybody else, because the community wasn't good yet, that even with that stupid crap factored in, I could still win 4 to 6 times an hour playing teams. Now, there's just so many just, like, incompetent players out there. Like, there's a lot more good players, and it just feels like, why I'm, like, you know, I guess, like, I do still win, a fair bit compared to most people, and, like, the times I do win is because, well, on the enemy team, they had some player on their side being stupid, but, like, when it happens to you, like, it's just so frustrating to spend like 15 minutes on a match and you're about to win, and then like the player you've been like supporting and carrying because they blocked you off from attacking just doesn't know how to play and just loses it for you. It's just so frustrating. So annoying. But yeah, so honestly, at this point, it's just like, maybe I can make my channel about spectating the game and teaching you guys how to play, because it's like, honestly, I don't like the game anymore. It's just not fun anymore. It used to be back in the day, you could have your fun in teams, and then when you want to do a little bit of sweating, you know, you want a little more challenge and frustration, you do free for all, and then you wanted to like just chill and like, you know, let's have some, you know, play teams, and you know, just by sheer numbers, you win half the time on teams, whatever. But now that the devs made the change where you can see the player dots in the loading screen, or while you're like picking your spawn point compared to bot dots, it's just this ultra sweat fest where like you never get a good start with lots of free land. You know, back in the day, you used to be able to just brute force and get lucky once in a while. Now it's just this like, ugh. Every match is just like frustrating, where like either some idiot noob spawns near you and takes all your land and then just loses it to the enemy without leaving so you can get it, or some noob gets big by sheer luck and then you support them with troops so they don't die because you need them to not die, and they misplayed, and it's like, it's just, ugh. The game's just not fun anymore, man. They like the developer made a change to teams, and it just ruined the fun of teams for me. And they're not going to change it because the game's still doing well. Like, all the developer cares about, obviously, in the main is like, are people playing it? And in the main menu, it still shows like, yeah, more people are playing than ever, because the way like what makes battle royale games addictive is the fact that most of the time you don't win, and so you're always fighting for that win. And so that's why the battle royale was so popular, is because like you barely ever win, right? Unless you're good. And they've done the same thing to teams. They've done the same thing to teams matches, where they made it like, so now like, oh man, it's still like, it feels like a lot harder to get wins on teams than it used to be. I guess if you use like hidden islands, you could still probably have about the same like quote unquote win rate. But like, yeah, it's just, I'm just not happy with the state the game's in. I don't like that change the dev made a few weeks ago. I mean, it's just back, like it was just so much more fun when you couldn't tell the difference between player dots and bot dots at the start of teams, and you would just pick a spot that looked fairly clear, and then as soon as you pick that spot, unless somebody else was looking at it that split second, now it just looks like you're one bot amongst other bots, and like, oh, it's too densely packed, and they'll go somewhere else. And yeah, maybe like a third or half your matches, you might get unlucky and somebody might spawn too close to you. But like a third of your matches, maybe more. This guy's doing great over here. A third of your matches, or maybe more, you just have like a good start. And like you could have like, all right, I got a good start, and you can have some fun with being able to like get some distance and, you know, actually have a fighting chance. And the nice thing about it, I think, is I feel like the new, like the idea, I was the one who suggested the idea to the dev back in the day, and they're like, yeah, sure. I like the whole being able to tell the difference between player dots and bot dots at start teams, because we thought it'll like reward skilled and experienced players more. But it's actually the opposite. The opposite has happened. Where like, because I feel in teams, like back in the day, noobs and bad players used to just get wrecked at the start of matches, you know, until they learned what they were doing, you know, until they played the game for a few hours, knew what they're doing. That guy reacted a little bit slow to the expansion there. But now it's just like, now it feels like all the noobs do is like they like, you know, the noobs will all spawn, like, all right, let's have a bunch of us noobs spawn all in this country, and just by sheer brute force, the fact that they just outnumber them, one of them just might get big there, and then they will, you know, they'll finance forward into one person, which is good, but that one person doesn't know how to play, and they like leave, and it's just like, back in the day when you couldn't tell how to properly congregate with the other player dots, the noobs would just pick some spots, and survival of the fittest, all the bad noobs would just get bodied at the start, and they'd have to like learn how to actually play. I feel like the whole being able to tell where your team dots are so easily and spawn with the team other players, like all the bad players can like protect each other, and like it's like they're not forced to learn how to play as well. And that's why you see all these matches where like some bad player gets big just by sheer teammates dumping money to them, or they got lucky and had other players, bad players around them, but at the end it just always ends up with like, oh, you're like, oh, you're just getting wrecked. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe back in the day it was the same thing, I'm just more like annoyed by it because I played the game too much. It's also a strong possibility, but like, I just like, my discontentment for the game didn't start until the dev made that change. Like the first day the dev made that change, I could tell I didn't like it. And ever since then, I haven't enjoyed the game, unfortunately. So I guess we just spectate it now, unfortunately. I also wish the developer was more transparent. They don't really like list their updates very well. Like, you know, like they'll roll out a lot of updates without even saying the updates are. They will when they put up patch notes, they don't even mark down all the things they changed. I do wish the developer was more like communicative with the community. No, don't get me wrong. Like what they've made is technologically impressive, and they made a good game here. But I am worried they are going to like smash and crash the game into the dirt. Although maybe what they're doing is intentional. Maybe the psychology of like make the game frustrating and not fun to play, so that way people get addicted. You guys can vote to end, or are you boating across? He's probably boating across. Make the game frustrating and not fun to play. That way people get addicted to the, you know, challenge of it, right? And so they keep playing it. Because like, if you look at the watch time in the main, like the play time in the main menu, the game's doing fine. So maybe the fact that it's just not that easy to win anymore, not that fun anymore, is kind of working well for the content creator. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty clear who's going to win this one. So we'll wrap the video here. Smash the like button if you like Territorial IO and you want to see more of it on this channel. Let's go.